What's completely legal, but people think it's not? Free speech on Reddit. What did you say, you stupid MR? What the FK did you just FG say about me? You little BH. All have you know I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs. And I've been involved in numerous secret raids on Al-Qaeda. And I have over 300 confirmed kills. I am trained in guerrilla warfare and I'm the top sniper in the entire US Armed Forces. You are nothing to me but just another target. I will wipe you the FK out with precision the likes of which has never been seen before on this earth. Mark my FG words. You think you can get away with saying that ST to me over the internet? Think again. FR. As we speak, I am contacting my secret network of spies across the USA and your IP is being traced right now, so you better prepare for the storm. Maggot. The storm that wipes out the pathetic little thing you call your life. You're FG dead. Kid. I can be anywhere. Anytime. And I can kill you in over 700 ways. And that's just with my bare hands. Not only am I extensively trained in unarmed combat, but I have access to the entire arsenal of the United States Marine Corps and I will use it to its full extent to wipe your miserable ass off the face of the continent. You little ST. If only you could have known what unholy retribution your little clever comment was about to bring down upon you. Maybe you would have held your FG tongue. But you couldn't. You didn't. And now you're paying the price. You GN idiot. I will ST fury all over you and you will drown in it. You're FG dead. Kiddo. For anyone that doesn't know, this is the Navy SEALs copy pasta. There are still a lot of places in the U.S. where BY is still legal. I see this comment a lot and I think it's important to note that while zoophilia and BY aren't technically illegal in some places, those things still tend to fall under laws concerning animal abuse and are punished as such. Letting your microwave beep at night. Picking bluebonnets in Texas. Using emojis on Reddit. OMG. Yes. Every time I get tempted and then think something like nope. It's frowned upon. Yes, it is. Now be a good boy or girl and submit to Reddit law. Breaking out of jail is legal in Germany if you don't break any laws while escaping. This is kind of a misconception though. Like yes, the breakout itself is not necessarily illegal. But it's not like they'll just let you roam free after that. They'll still bring you back in to finish serving your sentence. They just won't add any extra time to it. That's enough actually. You have basically nothing to lose. Which means you can try for free. Good deal. Walking out of a store without buying anything. Peyote is, and has always been, legal in Canada. Peyote is entirely legal to buy, grow, sell, and consume. See the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. Schedule 3. Section 17. Edit. It is not a criminal offense under the CDSA to buy, sell, grow, or consume peyote. There may be regulations around growing peyote to be sold and actually selling it. Disclaimer. Do not take legal advice from strangers on the internet. I've never been able to find it though. And I won't help you. Less than. Cough greater than. Google. Less than. Cough greater than. SX with your cousin. Boomers think having more than one email address is illegal for some reason. Well, technically not anymore. Most Canadians didn't know BY was legal. I remember telling my classmates about it and them being shocked. You guys ever FK a moose? Friends, what? You a moose? You guys ever FK one? Friends, Jesus. That's illegal, isn't it? You well. Actually no it isn't. Friends, well st good to know. I'm surprised your only objection is the legality of moose love. Maybe it wasn't illegal BC the moose FD. Them. That's how you get moose herpes. Just saying. Assisted suicide. At least here you can ask do be put to death. Where are you from? Originally Luxembourg. It's legal in Oregon. These days. Coughing. In a lot of countries. Exposing your private parts to the public. Everyone breaking quarantine is about to get vectored. I used to think collecting rainwater was illegal. But that's only in certain regions. Hurting someone while trying to save their life. The Good Samaritan law doesn't exist in many countries in the world. Though. So in some places, it's a lawsuit waiting to happen if you try to save someone's life. Why would this be illegal in the first place? There was a case, don't remember where a person got CPR after heart failure. CPR, when done right, will and should always at least crack one of your ribs. This is simply down to the pressure you need to use for heart massage. Anyways, person cracked a rib while doing CPR and saved the other person's life. Ill person then sued his rescuer to high HL for bodily damage. Luckily court dismissed his claim. Giving your opinion. Pretending to be mentally handicapped and going trick-or-treating as an adult. We used to trick-or-treat for cans in college to donate to the local food bank. It seemed fairly successful from the lowest level looking at the end-of-night drop-off location. They'd flyer the neighborhoods a week or two before saying we were going to be out. The organizers would give groups routes and then we'd meet back up after it was over. I think they made it a multiple club competition of sorts. It's been a few years since I've been in college. So I don't know if they're still doing it. Driving with your car light on inside. Restaurants giving away leftover food. Especially to the homeless. When I was 16, I worked at a Subway and they wasted so much food. I would not throw it out though and would give it to the homeless. They try to tell you that the homeless could sue if you gave them food that might potentially be expired or about to be spoiled. Even though none of it was. They just didn't want to bother risking it. Good Samaritan laws, at least in the US, prevent any kind of lawsuits of any kind that occur from acts of charity or goodwill. In short, you can't be sued by giving away food to people. Especially if the food was going to just end up in a bag in the dumpster anyway. Where the HL do they think homeless people will get the resources and money to sue? LMAO. Good on you. Though, as a fellow restaurant worker, it breaks my heart to see so much stuff thrown away every day. But at least one place I worked at would pack up leftovers from banquets and bring them to the fire station. It was usually bland country club food. But hey, it was free law. Are you sure about that? Do you know where I could find more info on the topic? Walking in public while barefoot. In the US, this includes being in stores. You're not breaking any laws. But the proprietor is within his rights to refuse service. Yep. But it's legal. Which was the question's subject. Yes. It is legal. You cannot be arrested or fined for entering an establishment barefoot. Masturbating on an airplane. It's just frowned upon. For UK cycling. It's legal to ride on dual carriageways. It's legal to ride two abreast. It's legal to filter past traffic on either side. It's legal to exceed the posted speed limit. It's legal to ride without a helmet or high-vis clothing. Riding two or more abreast is not always legal here. The state law states that riding abreast is permitted only when not obstructing traffic. And that bicyclists must ride as far to the right side of the road as safe. By this rule, as a driver in a truck, I should never encounter a lane blocked by bicyclists riding side by side. In fact, normal traffic on a normal day here is such that it would be nearly impossible for bicyclists to ride abreast on most roadways because cars would constantly be behind them. Owning a firearm in France. There are a few loops and hoops you have to jump through, but you can even own an AR-15. In many places, marrying and consummating the marriage to a 16-year-old cousin. Not saying it's a good idea though. Voting for yourself in an election. But only the first vote in each election. Faking your own death. However, The person actually trying to fake their death ends up committing other crimes, like forging documents, insurance fraud, identity theft, etc. So essentially going completely off-grid isn't illegal is what you're saying. But as soon as the government want to declare you dead, then you break laws by not telling them you're not dead. Not if you don't know they are declaring you dead. You could simply go off-grid to a place you don't need identification for normal life. Chillax for about 7 years or so. Someone will eventually declare you dead. Especially if you leave a life insurance policy behind or something. Owning fully automatic machine guns, flamethrowers, tanks, etc. Riding on money. Going for a walk during lockdown. That really depends on the country you live. In mine it is illegal. You can even go to jail for it. In mine you'll get fined even for equivalent of few thousands dollars if you have no serious reason to be outdoors. Like grocery shopping or going to work. Cut to people crossing the road to avoid other people. Filming people in public. Every other public freakout. Video in an open public place. I never gave you permission to film me. Quote. Exactly. I fully expected this to have been the first comment. That actually highly depends on where you live. Go around topless? Sitting next to someone on a bus in Norway. Let's not risk anything just to be sure. Owning fully automatic weapons in the USA. It's a complicated and expensive process. But legal. Why am I not surprised? Cannibalism. As long as you can ethically source a human corpse and have permission from the deceased or their family. The act of eating human flesh is legal. Killing someone or desecrating a corpse is not. Using your blinker. Thank you. This cracked me up. Suppressors. Calling a toddler ACT. Fighting words exception. Passing a cop who is going under the speed limit. Refusing to consent to a voluntary search of your person. And the cop telling you that refusal to consent to a search is suspicious enough to give me grounds to detain and search you if I wanted. Quote. Talking about your salary with your coworkers. Companies legally cannot put any rules to forbid employees to talk about their salaries. They can't do that, but then they'll start noticing other performance lapses or violations. You'll get written up and terminated for those other violations, and totally not for the fact you were talking about your salary. In Germany it's legal if you have consensual sex with a 14-year-old person. Only if you yourself are under 18 though. You know how many people in this thread just booked a flight to Germany? This comment single-handedly saved the airlines. IKR. So many pedos to kill. Driving your car barefoot. Deducting pay of a salary employee. Having OT rights as a salary employee. If you work less than 40 they dock you? If you work more they need to pay you. They want you to say no to OT. But you don't have to. More than likely you'll be let go for it. But told something else. I was on salary and was clocking in because the company I worked for wanted me to. Years later I was a part of a lawsuit and won a settlement. About $1,600. Attempting suicide. It was a punishable offense in India a few years ago, but then SC read down that provision. How was it punishable if you're dead? Attempting suicide. So if you fail you go to jail. That was the motto. Oh. Doing drugs. I know you're going to think I'm an idiot. But the crime is possession of narcotics, not consumption. That being said, cops can be incredibly pedantic and arrest you on the basis of having some residue on your clothes. And in some jurisdictions will argue that your body is a container and thus you're still technically in possession. Now it's possession by consumption, it's in your body so you possess it. They can charge you for it in some states. ITT. People who don't realize the law is different in different places. Reposts. Violating a TOS agreement. In fact, it's not uncommon for TOS agreements to contain clauses that are themselves illegal. It's not just TOS, but most contracts or written agreements. If they violate the law, they won't stand in most cases. It's important to note that at least in the US, there is a preference for only cutting problematic parts of the contract. If you have a contract where you owe a company $5,000 and your sole, and you really did breach the contract, they're going to cut out the sole part. You probably will still owe $5,000. Because law is fun. There is a further caveat to your caveat. If the impugned section is so central to the contract that it cannot be deleted without altering the essential purpose of the agreement, the whole contract may be declared void. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.